Never thirsty. Never thirsty.
When you talk about the business, which you kind of threw out there, is like all of that business needs to be done.
Right.
And all of that IP, right? Because it's intellectual property, all that needs to be protected, and money needs to go to the right place, and all that needs to happen. And that's what we do with the states, making sure, hey, he had a lot of kids. We got to make sure all those kids get fed. So all that money's going to the right place.
How did you get in? Like, was there people like bidding for that position? Like, that seems like if somebody big passes away like that, is the phone ringing at the house? Like, are people all being like, hey? Like, how does
good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna be, 100%. No, not at the time. Like, the value wasn't seen in hip hop, in intellectual properties. I think now, as unfortunately, as these stars pass away young, people now see the value. So there is probably, some bidding or competitive shopping, or people, present their services. But back then, there was no value. It was exactly the opposite. People were running away. When we got involved with the estate, my company, Four Screens, it was, we had to build it up, meaning the brand was there. People loved him from the music, but there was how do you put deals together? How do you protect the image and likeness? That was something we had to do, and we had to construct.
Right.
So, it's nowadays people understand the value, but back then, especially with hip hop, it wasn't there. It was like,
does that include like publishing and stuff for his music, or just like his likeness, or someone wants to do a movie, or how, when for the people that don't understand this world, like you're like the Michael Jackson estate, that's probably a huge business.
Oh, huge business.
And I would imagine that O.D.B's is not something to sneeze at either. It's probably a lot of requests. I hear I Like It Raw all the time in commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a vodka commercial or something that plays it now. It's like you hear shimmy, shimmy, y'all all the time.
You're on the money. It's a huge business, and you're managing the music, the publishing, then you get into the name and likeness. Then there's IP of the photos that were taken, and what photos do we own as the estate. So these are all things you have to identify and then understand the value of them as you put them out in the marketplace. Then from there, you get into the documentaries, the biopics, the books.
It just was one. So did they have to do a deal with you guys?
Oh yeah, everything legit comes through us. Now, there's some bootleg licensing out there, and that's what it is. But if it's legit, then it has to come through us.
The one that was just on, like the big Wu-Tang show.
Oh yeah. We participated in that. We anything Wu-Tang that O.D.B is a part of, which he'll be a part of everything because he was a founding member. We're part of that deal. We're structuring it. We're making sure the O.D.B rights are taken care of. Wu-Tang American Saga, we're so happy to have a second season. That's
that's great.
Yeah, man. That's like, and seeing O.D.B represented more and more in the show, that's huge for everybody.
So how does it work for, like, if they sell a Wu-Tang Clan shirt at Target?
Yeah.
Is there a drip that goes down that like lands?
I think it's a drip, but you gotta remember there's a lot of members.
So like the drips get split into like micro drips, and then those micro drips become micro drips.
Yeah, but
there's a volume there. I mean, there's got to be a lot of water.
Yeah. You got that right. For us, it's really about the O.D.B brand. Like that's where.
That's where it's like 100%.
It's going to the right place. It's going everywhere, and then you can rep O.D.B to the fullest, and do all of that. So that's what we're.
Is there like a process of how you would go about approving something like that? Like, say I had an idea. I'm like, I want to do. I'm going to say a bad idea because I want to save my good ideas when we're not on camera, so that we can really talk business. But let's just say I want to do O.D.B frisbees.
All right,
it's going to be great.
That's not that bad. That's not that bad.
and I have like an ultimate frisbee league that wants to be the O.D.Bs, and we're gonna sell them all the O.D.B frisbees. And I come to you with this idea. What happens next? I have to get an appointment with you, and then we sit down. I pitch you my frisbees. Like, how do you figure out? Okay, we want to do the frisbees. We don't.
Yeah. So I mean, one, not a bad idea. So I'm just
That's
I've
my
heard
worst idea.
Yeah, so that's good because I've heard worse. So I'm like, oh, frisbee league. Now, frisbee league is very interesting. You know, basically, you come to, you can find us on, O.D.B Legacy on Instagram. All that comes to us.
No, but we get all past that. We're past
Okay, we're past that. So
We've
you found me.
Yeah.
So basically, at that point, we have a licensing department.
Okay.
And we'd have a meeting with you. We have over 15 licensees, and we'd sit down with you. We'd understand, hey, are you legit? Like, we ask you some questions. Hey, you got money? Like, you manufacture frisbees? Like, how far along are you in the league? You got any teams? You got television rights? So these are things, is where are you going with this league? Now, if you tell me, hey, we love playing in Central Park, and we just want some T-shirts, and we're gonna do our own frisbees on one of these things, right? We probably won't go much further than that.
Right.
Although we do some deals on love. There's some there's always O.D.B was for the children, but also for the people. So there are some love deals that we just do for the brand, right?
Is there O.D.B music that's not part of Wu-Tang Clan?
Well, his solo albums are not. Then there's the album with Damon Dash that was out there for a little bit, and then there might be a possibility of some other music that we're hearing about.
Really?
Never thirsty.